What's up, guys? We are back with the Dynasty Dogs podcast after a little bit of a wait. I'm Nick. Here's Con. How you doing?
Sir. Yeah, I'm doing good, bro. It's been a while, and it's the first time doing a redraft for us.
It
We got
is.
a mock today for you guys.
It is redraft season. I know it's more popular than Dynasty, so I know more people need help with it. So I think it's a good place to start. Doing a 12 team, one QB, one tight end, two QB, or two receiver, two running back, two flex. So pretty standard stuff. No kickers, no defense. We don't do that. So Khan has the 1-6. I have the 1-12.
Yep.
So the first players off the board were Taylor, McCaffrey, Henry, Eckler, and Jefferson. And Khan's on the clock at 106. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, and just so you guys know, we're doing this on sleeper.com.
Yes.
Amazing website. We do all our dynasty leagues on there. I do all my
Yes.
redraft leagues on there if more people were, accepting of this instead of like ESPN or whatever. So,
You got to get the casuals over. You got to get them
yeah,
over.
for real. Um, but with 1-6, right now what I'm looking at on the board is Cooper Kupp, Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, and I am really not picking a receiver here. There's so many great receivers, and there are so many non-workhorse running backs that getting a workhorse is so valuable to your team in a redraft because age doesn't matter. So you can pretty much pencil me in here to go with Dalvin Cook. As
Okay.
RB5 off the board, I like him a lot more than Derrick Henry in PPR.
Is
Um,
this PPR? Is it set to PPR? Because Henry went
yeah,
3, and that's a little crazy.
yeah, PPR.
Okay. I would not touch Henry in the first round, let alone a third pick. That's crazy.
Wow. I mean, I would take him in
I
this
mean, I
area.
would maybe take him on the turn if like no other, but I don't know. Like I feel like it's especially in PPR, like
One
there's no
six is
much better
absolutely too
options.
early, especially off
Oh
of
yeah.
3. But neither here nor there. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking Dalvin Cook. Simply put, I like him more than Najee this year. Mixon is, a decent argument, but I just think Dalvin Cook is more of the focal point of his offense as compared to Mixon. Obviously there's Chase, who is another candidate to be picked here at the 1-6. There's T.
And
Higgins. What
Cup's
happened?
not a bad option.
Yeah, but I don't like. I think they're gonna be running a lot more with Matthew Stafford's elbow problem, and I think Allen Robinson, and then the addition. I think they're gonna get Odell back in the middle of the season. So I think all those factors, and then defense is also like just not allowing Cup to beat them, which is like what I hope would happen, like
Mhm.
logically speaking, but you never know. Excuse me. So I would take Dalvin Cook right here, and I'm gonna take him off the board.
Nice, good pick. By
All
the
right.
way, we'll post the draft board to our Twitter. So if you guys want to see how it went down instead of just hearing us list off a bunch of names.
Yeah.
So okay, then we Cup go at 1-7, Najee at 1-8, Chase at 1-9, Mixon at 1-10, Adams at 1-11. So now I am on the turn. I definitely want to come away with a running back here because the running backs, that's the reason I wouldn't take a receiver in the first is because the running backs fall off. And there's so many great middle round receivers that I'm going to definitely go with DeAndre Swift here
Yeah.
as my first pick.
Yeah,
And
totally.
then I am going to go with Stephon Diggs at the 2-1. I think Diggs has a real chance to actually be the overall number one receiver this year.
Mhm.
I think he's a great value where he goes. I mean, obviously, guys like Adams and Chase and Cup and Jefferson that went before him, you can't be mad at it. But I also think that Diggs is just as good, if not better, than like most of them this season. So those
Gotcha.
are going to be my first two picks. Go with Swift and then Diggs.
Alright, so then coming back to me over here at the 2-7, after Diggs was CD, Alvin Kamara at 2-3, then Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews off the board, and then Tyreek Hill off the board. So now I'm looking at a board of Nick Chubb, Josh Allen, Aaron Jones, Debo, Saquon Barkley. Who else is here? Javonte, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, etc. So I have Dalvin
What do you
Cook on.
think about early QB? I wouldn't
I
definitely
wouldn't I
personally
wouldn't touch
not
early
take.
Q I wouldn't touch QB until maybe, like, round I would say round, like, 8 earliest.
That's the Trey Lance range.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with Trey Lance as QB1. But
Oh, yeah.
so my line of thinking here, I love taking, like, receiver back to back to back in, like, 3, 4, 5 as long as the tight end value doesn't drop. I like, if I can stack up on T. Higgins and the Michael Pittmans of the world and the DK Metcalfs in round 3, 4, 5, I love that, and I feel like that's a winning recipe for redraft. Maybe not so much in Dynasty, but, obviously we're doing a redraft mock.
Yep.
And redraft running backs win you championships. So I'm gonna go with another running back here. I think Nick Chubb is not gonna get nearly enough catches and just overall touches to validate a 2-7 draft spot. And kind of the same thing with Aaron Jones. I mean, to a lesser extent though, because I do love Aaron Jones in this range. I think I'd take Aaron Jones over some of the guys who just went, like Tyreek Hill, like CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, yeah.
I just wouldn't take him over Saquon. And, we are Giants fans over here, so take that into account.
We are.
But a year removed from the ACL, Andrew Thomas is there. They added Evan Neal. We added Mark Lewinsky. Just an overall better scheme, hopefully. And, you know,
And Andrew Thomas is one of the best left tackles right now, like,
yeah, one of the
prospects in the league.
exactly. So, I have full confidence in Saquon. He's being used, in practice as a receiver, in the
Mhm.
slot and just generally having plays for him out of the backfield. So Saquon's my pick here, and I'm taking him with a lot of confidence.
You should. I love him and Jones, but I was at camp twice this offseason, and I saw Saquon look juiced.
Yeah, he looks like he's, you know, for lack of a better term, like prime Saquon. All
I
right, so
can't wait.
I'm back on the clock now at 3-6, and after my pick went Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Josh Allen, Javonte Williams, Leonard Fournette at the 212, Debo at
Mm,
3-1, Mike Evans 3-2, Zeke Elliott, Keenan Allen, and AJ Brown. So my board now, Kyle Pitts is here, James Conner is here, Patrick Mahomes, T. Higgins, Justin Herbert, Cam Akers, David Montgomery, that tier of guys. So I do love going tight end here, but Kittle and Waller are both here. And that gives me a little bit of hope maybe one of them could fall, especially because Team 8 and Team 9 both have a tight end already.
yeah,
Damn, that's a tough pick.
it is tough. We're big T. Higgins guys, or at least,
Yeah, I
you're
Nick
very I
one, but I'm huge on him too.
yes. Last year basically went as well as it could have for saying T. Higgins would outscore Jamar Chase because they were damn close. Like, that was definitely a hot take, but it was almost true.
I mean, during the last, what was it, 9 weeks of the season, he averaged the same points per game, right?
Yep,
Damn, this is hard. So the receivers left here. Receivers left are T. McLaurin, Deontay, Michael Pittman, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Courtland
yeah,
Sutton.
love Courtland Sutton, but that's too early.
Yeah, I think I think I'm gonna take Kyle Pitts here, and it
Okay,
is pretty early, but the way that I see it, there's gonna be a couple of names that come back to me at 4-7 and 5-6 who I like. Maybe like a Courtland Sutton who was just mentioned, DK, Marquise Brown. I love Marquise Brown this year. So
yep,
I'm gonna solidify that tight end spot, and I'm gonna take, Kyle Pitts.
there you go. Got a receiver at your tight end slot.
Yeah, right?
Basically, that's what it comes down to. This, like, in Dynasty in general and redraft, like, he's a cheat code. So after Pitts goes Connor, Mahomes, Higgins, Kittle, and Akers, and then that means I did get a running back who I wanted to fall, is Breece Hall. I think he
Yes,
is
great pick, great pick.
well, Breece Hall, to all people that think Michael Carter, "Oh, he's gonna take the touches away." No, he's not. He's gonna get a little work, sure. He's not the worst running back, but Breece Hall was drafted high. They traded up to draft him, right? Like a spot or two.
What
Am I
happened? I'm
right
sorry.
about that? Didn't they traded up like a spot or two to get Breece Hall?
I
if I remember correctly.
think it was something like that. I think it was, like, pick 34 they traded up to.
Yes. So Brees Hall, I think he's being undervalued. I think him being in 4th round, I mean, you know, on the 3-12, 4-1, and that's something also about being on the end. When you're on the turn, you're gonna have players you really want that are gonna be a little gonna be taking them ahead of ADP, and I wouldn't be worried. If you're taking someone you really want, I wouldn't be worried about, "Oh, he's supposed to go 5 picks later." You have 24 picks in between your every time you go, so you gotta take who you want and who you think's gonna help win you a championship.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Breece Hall as my first pick here on the turn, and then, it's interesting. I
You got
really am looking at
now
Terry
winners.
here. Yeah, I'm
What?
thinking about Terry McLaurin.
Okay. Terry.
I'm looking at him, I'm looking at Waddle, I'm looking at Pittman, DJ Moore. There's a lot of good names. Deontay is there.
Mhm.
Now, this is a tough pick, and you know what? I think I'm gonna wind up going with Michael Pittman here. I think he has a better situation than Terry. I mean, Terry obviously is a great receiver as well, but I think that with Matt Ryan, Pittman's gonna really eat. I think he's gonna have a great opportunity. He's gonna have a great target share, and I think he's really gonna be the guy there. I mean, obviously, it's very vacant outside him and Alec Pierce, and
Yeah.
they have like Mo Alley Cox and then Woods, and obviously Jonathan Taylor. But I mean, Pittman's gonna catch a lot of balls this year. I could see 100 reception season for him.
Yeah, I love it. I would definitely take him over McLaurin.
Yeah.
Oh, man, and ETN went right before I was
Ooh.
even thinking.
You want to talk about it, ETN, even though he got picked?
Ah, yeah, yeah, we could talk on ETN for a little. So after Nick's Michael Pittman pick, Herbert went off, McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, David Montgomery, and then right before my pick at 4-7, Travis Etienne went at 4-6. And just to piggyback off of what Nick had said before, I do think Pittman there going over McLaurin is the right pick. I think him going over Deontay, like I think that's fair. Deontay has obviously a lot more competition in his offense, and I think for the most part, the Colts offense is gonna score a lot more than the Steelers. So,
Yeah.
but ETN, I'll let you start off with ETN, because I'm really high on him, so I don't know if you have a differing opinion or not.
So he is someone I think his upside is tremendous. I think he has top 7 upside in fantasy, and it's just obviously tough. That injury in his foot was not one that people tend to bounce back to or from so frequently, but he's also so young. He's looking good and explosive. Like they played in preseason, he had some good snaps. He's been looking good in camp. He's not someone I'm fading. I do like the pick, and if Brees is off the board, I was really gonna debate taking ETN there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he's someone I really do like, and I hope the only question with him is health. There's no question of talent. There's no question of it. Is he gonna get work? He and Trevor Lawrence, they've played together before. He's gonna get targets. He's gonna get work. I don't know how much the Jags are gonna score, but I'm sure he can put together at least 7 touchdowns on the year. I don't think that's asking too much, and I think he's gonna be a really good player this year.
I mean, if he scores 6 touchdowns, I'd be pretty disappointed, to be
Well,
honest.
I'm saying as a baseline, like I'm sure he could put at least 6. Like that's not a
Okay.
even though it's gonna be a poor offense, maybe a lot of people are gonna project it to be. I think he'll get plenty of work, plenty of receptions. I think he'll and James Robinson, I really do like. I think he's a value more in dynasty than redraft. But and if even if he does take work away, I think there'll be a really good 1-2 punch in Jacksonville.
Yeah. I mean, I think James Robinson, by the time he comes back, ETN just gonna be established, and,
Yeah.
his injury is not like you said, it's not one that a lot of people come back from and, maintain their level of play, but, he was
But
young
we
when he
saw
got hurt.
Akers, like everyone's bouncing back quicker.
Yeah. He was I think he was 20 when he got hurt, not even 21.
Mhm.
But let me just double check that. Um, no, okay, he was 22 actually. Whoops.
Okay.
Um, but anyway, he was young and it doesn't seem like he's lost any explosiveness. I was watching him in his preseason game, and preseason is preseason, so it's not a be all end all. But he looked like somebody who rehabbed and recovered well from his injury.
Mhm.
And when talent meets opportunity, there's fantasy points to be scored. So, a friend, he was a first round pick actually, right? He was like a mid 20s first round pick,
I think it
blessed by
was like
our.
24 or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. So high draft capital, good player, has a rapport with the quarterback going back to college. So, I think ETN is in the fourth round as a running back two, potentially even a running back three, because we have flex spots.
Oh yeah.
That's a slam dunk pick. So now I'm in a tough spot here because I really wanted to go running back receiver and get a flex spot filled out. Um,
You got Waddle sitting there.
yeah,
What do you think
Waddle's
about Waddle this year? I know you're not a big Tua guy, but Waddle's gonna get targets. He's gonna get work.
there. Tua. Yeah. Yeah, tag me in videos of Tua making bad throws, guys.
Also, these are our Twitters below. We should have said that in the intro. Uh, so Dynasty Dogs Nick for me and 72 Con for Con.
Yeah, that was my number when I was playing football, so kinda stuck with me now. Damn, bro, I'm torn. I'm torn. I'm a Baker Mayfield fan, so I think I'd rock with DJ Moore for one of these picks, and
Okay.
then my
Do you have
next.
more over Waddle this year?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then my next pick, I'm debating between Dobbins and Courtland Sutton,
Mm,
and of
you gotta
course,
see
one of
who
these guys has
falls.
to come back to me, but,
Yeah.
okay, Imma take DJ Moore off the board. For DJ Moore, I think, he's a fantastic receiver. I think Baker is by far the best quarterback that he's ever gonna have to play with.
Or
Um,
has had. Hopefully
yeah,
he
um,
gets a better quarterback than Baker.
probably Waller is the best value here, but I have tight end, and I think there's a sizable gap this year between Pitts and Darren Waller. So, you know, I I also think that there could be a little bit of an adjustment period with Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and just for that offense in general, because when you add somebody like Tyreek Hill, it's hard for things to just go swimmingly from week one. So, I think DJ Moore is gonna be my pick here. And I'm
Okay.
pretty comfortable with it. I think this is the year where finally everybody who was in love with him and raved about him for so long is going to be vindicated. So I'm going to take DJ Moore.
Good pick. I like it.
And there something goes. Damn, man.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
All right.
You got Dobbins to fall now.
Dobbins is here. Dobbins
He's
is
someone
here.
I've been talking up on the Twitter over on at Dynasty Dogs FF. I've been talking him up all off season since last year. I have like I think I have 5 shares over my Dynasty leagues. He's someone I really like, and I think showed enough at the end of his rookie year. He absolutely ate. Um, and the injury, it happened over a year ago already. It happened in camp. So what you gonna take Dobbins here?
Yeah. Um, Man, I'm just looking at receivers, and next time I'm up, it's going to be like Darnell Mooney, Juju, Adam Thielen. But I think
I
I
like
see.
that range.
Yeah, I think I see somebody who I like here afterwards.
Okay.
So, all like these quarterback options, by the way, like Burrow, Kyler, Lamar went at 4-11. Please don't take early quarterback. It's the worst thing that happens in fantasy every year. Guys, putting down money, taking Josh Allen at 210 when they could have been getting a running back one or a wide receiver one. You're just missing on talent for no reason.
For
Truthfully.
Josh Allen to return value on 210, he has to be the QB1. He has to
He
not miss
has
any
to be.
games.
And he has to be QB1 by
Yes.
a margin of like 2.5,
Of like
3 per game.
Yes, and it's just not gonna happen. I would say, what do you think if you get Jalen Hurts in the 6th? He might be the earliest I'm willing to go QB because I think he
Sure,
has insane
that might
upside.
yeah. Like,
And
that's
if
fine,
he is
especially
QB1,
because
which he could be,
what happened?
that's great. I'm saying if you get the QB1 and he winds up being the QB1 in the 6th round, that's a value that's not
Yeah,
bad at all.
that's good. And, like, Brady projected, um, late 7th round pick. Who else?
Great
Like,
pick.
Matthew Stafford,
Like
Aaron
Lance is
Rodgers,
out there, Kirk Cousins, Derek
Trey Lance,
Carr,
Derek Carr. Like, there's no reason to be
Russ
taking these
Wilson in
guys.
the 7th. That
Yeah,
is a fucking nice pick. Oh,
there's no reason to be taking any of these guys early, I promise you.
no.
You're playing fantasy and you're putting down money. That is the one thing that you do not wanna do. Please.
Just put yourself at a disadvantage.
For
That's
no
not
reason.
smart.
Alright, so I don't love the wide receivers after this pick. Marquise Brown's gonna come off the board. Allen
Mm-mm.
Robinson's gonna come off the board, Chris Godwin, etcetera. But I think the best pick in terms of added points per game because we have the flex spot is gonna be J.K. Dobbins, so that's who I'm gonna take right here. And then Nick is gonna snipe me on the way back, so I'm just getting ready for that.
I love that pick. And then one I love that I've also been talking about, I wrote an article about actually, was Allen Robinson. I think that he's walking into a tremendous situation. Not even because Robert Woods is gone and Odell's hurt. It's because Allen Robinson is the player that you guys all forget he was because of last year. And I rostered him on my redraft team and I picked him early. And obviously, it was hard to determine when you start him. Do you start him? I didn't cut him. Just, I mean, people just will forget like how good he truly is.
Yeah.
Last year it was terrible, and like I totally understand. It was not pretty, but he was a perennial wide receiver one, winning people weeks, winning people leagues, and he's going into a high-powered offense that just won a Super Bowl, and that has Cooper Cup there drawing the number one DB. Allen Robinson is a great value in the end of the 5th round this year. As my wide receiver 3, I'll take that all
Mhm.
day.
I like it.
So that's my pick at 512. Um, and then I'm looking. I could double tap receiver and go Marquise Brown, Chris Godwin. It's hard. He's so talented, but we don't really know. Like we know he's off the pup list and he's doing work at camp, but we don't know when he's really going to be back. When
I
is he
I have
really going to?
I have somebody who works, um, at Virginia Tech, and all of the Virginia Tech staff now is guys who've come over from Penn State. So
Okay.
They know Chris Godwin, and apparently he's good to go for week 1.
If that's true,
Sorry to
that
make it harder, bro.
no, it doesn't make it harder. That would be my one. I would have 4 absolute stud receivers if I went with A-Rob and Godwin.
Yeah, you'd have your flex filled out already.
Mhm. But then I'm looking at AJ Dillon here, who shout out my boy Donnie, Cat Dad, Packers fan. I absolutely love AJ Dillon. He has standalone value as an RB2,
Yeah.
like floor, in my opinion. And say Aaron Jones, I think Aaron Jones is going to go a lot of work in the slot this year. He's going to get a lot of reps at receiver. He's going to get a lot of looks out the backfield. AJ Dillon showed he gets targets and he can catch the ball last year, which people didn't expect. And he's a truck. He's built for Green Bay. He's
Didn't watch
built
the
for those
tape.
games in December.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, I said they didn't watch the tape.
They didn't, and it shows because he's different. And you know what? I can't go double receiver with him on the board. So I'm gonna go with
Wow.
AJ Dillon
Wow. So
and I'm
AJ
gonna go
Dillon
with
over
Allen
Marquise
Robinson.
Brown and Chris Godwin. Wow.
Yeah. I like having a third good running back, but
Yeah.
also look at the running backs that are gonna be left. When
Yeah,
I get
it's
on the
gonna
board
be
next, it's
a
gonna be Tony
wasteland.
Pollard, Cordell Patterson.
Kenny Walker
That
is the
I
only guy who, like, I kind of care about.
and even then, it's no.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
feel you.
yeah, I just don't think I can let AJ Dillon go past my pick with the amount of like that it just takes such a hit. the position takes such a hit in the draft after that. What do you think about that, though?
I think it's good process. You get somebody who's a good value for the spot, and obviously, running back depth is always important. So,
Yeah,
it makes sense from all angles. I am really pissed off that Chris Godwin and Marquise Brown went before I pick. That
I do
hurts.
love both of them. I'm sorry
Yeah,
that I had to
yeah.
pass them up, but they're both studs.
Um, so the guy who I had my eye on this whole time, it's a little bit of a reach here, because he's projected to almost be available at my next pick. I think you know who he is.
I'm gonna guess Juju.
No, bro, I'm Juju hate club, but my pick is gonna be Rashad Bateman.
Wow.
I don't care that it's a little early. It is what it is. I think as my wide receiver too, I'm gonna have to go wide receiver again right here just for some depth because Bateman's obviously just a second year player and he's walking into a situation where he's being the top receiver for the first time in his career. So there might be a little bit of an adjustment period. But
You
I
want to know
love
a little
the
fun
offense.
fact?
What happened?
I took him over 850 yards on the season.
Yeah. Oh, I hope
Absolutely
so.
love Bateman. Absolutely
So
love him. I have a bunch of shares. I'm ready. He's gonna take off. I love that pick for you.
yeah. Um, Mark Andrews obviously had a crazy season, but
Right.
what's the chances that's replicated? And just I can't pass up on who he was in college in that offense. They traded Marquise Brown for a reason because they know Bateman is that guy. I'm
145
just
targets.
in. So, or what'd you say?
I said 145 targets gone.
Yeah, and Mark Andrews already had like
He
140
can't go
plus.
up. He
Yeah,
can't go up.
so that's my pick right there at 6'7".
Love it.
Catching up on the board, Michael Thomas went at 6'8", then T.J. Hawkinson went 6'9", then Adam Thielen, Kenny Walker, Jalen Hurts at the 6'12" spot, which you had brought up. So not even in the middle of the sixth. That's end of the sixth, right at the turn
Love that.
for a potential top three quarterback. Then Miles Sanders, DeAndre Hopkins, who was out for the first 6 games, Darnell
That's
Mooney,
so
Kareem Hunt,
bad.
and Russell Wilson at 7'5". So I'm on the clock.
Before you give your pick,
Yeah, yeah. What's up?
how can someone take DeAndre Hopkins, who is gonna miss 6 games? You're not gonna have him your first 6 games. You can take him over Juju, who has been a top fantasy receiver before and who is in a crazy good offense as probably the number one target as wide receiver outside of Kelsey. How? That is just
Horrible.
stupid.
Horrible. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Don't like that. I don't like taking Adam Thielen before guys like a Drake London or an Elijah Moore, just because of
Hmm.
those. I think those guys are the number ones in their offense. Adam
Yeah,
Thielen, he's a fantastic player. He's proved it for a long time. But you take on risk when drafting Adam Thielen because you don't know if this is the year where the decline comes. And through all accounts, KJ Osborne has been looking great in camp, and he might take, some work away from him into wide receiver sets. It just is what it is.
yeah.
So I don't love Adam Thielen there, and I do like him for this year still, just not at 6'10". Maybe if you can get him around later at 7'10", somewhere around there. I think that's much better value. Um, and with this pick, man, I love Drake London. I love Drake London as a player. I'm just debating if it's a little bit too early. What do you think?
I would not take him over Juju in redraft. No, I would not.
You big
You
on
have
Juju
guys
in
like
redraft?
I've definitely been creeping up on him. I mean, I love Sky Moore too, but it's a rookie year for him. Juju's on a 1-year prove it deal with
Mhm.
incentivized contract, so he has to hit certain thresholds in yards, receptions, touchdowns.
Yeah, for his
And if
bag.
he's balling, Mahomes is not going to go away from him. He's
Yeah.
going to keep feeding him. So I think Juju I think he is probably the best value in this round.
Damn, bro.
The running backs fell off. The tight ends,
Yeah,
you
the
already
the
have
running backs
one.
are gone. The running backs are
The
absolutely gone.
QBs, you could go Brady. It's not a bad pick, but I think Juju can return the most value here for you.
You made a great argument, and you're probably right. But that's why this is my
Oh,
mock draft. My mock
there you
draft.
go.
And I'm going to take Elijah Moore.
Love that.
I
Okay.
love Elijah Moore. I said that I think he's the number one in his offense. Zach Wilson is healthy. If he was not healthy, I would not be making this pick. But I think Elijah Moore
Well,
is a fantastic route runner, fantastic hands, fantastic after the catch. Um, I think I think he's a better player than Darnell Mooney. I think right now he's a better player than DeAndre Hopkins. He was washed last year for the last couple games before he got hurt, and he was on PEDs. Think about that.
mhm.
I think he's better than Adam Thielen. I think right now he's better than Michael Thomas coming off of all those injuries. And I buy their offense. I buy their line, even without Mekhi Becton. I buy their offensive coordinator coming from San Francisco. I think he knows what he's doing. So I'm going to take Elijah Moore right here, 8 seconds before my time runs out. All right, so Nick, you're up again. And to keep the board updated, after I took Elijah Moore, your boy Juju went, then Gabe Davis, Damian Harris, Traylon Burks, and Drake London. So two rookie receivers going back to back, and now you're up.
I love it. And you know who didn't go?
Brandon Ayuk.
Him and his quarterback didn't go.
Oh my god, I knew it. I for a second I was like, do I take Trey Lance right now? Because I think he's gonna take Trey Lance, but
Oh
I
yeah,
figured quarterbacks left and I wouldn't do that to you.
you could have, but thank. Uh, so what I'm going, you know, what I said before about like taking someone a little ahead of their ADP. I'm at the 7-12, 8-1 turn. Trey Lance is projected pick 106. There's still guys like Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't have a legit number one wide receiver. Dak Prescott, who I can't say anything bad about. Tom Brady, who, I mean, Godwin supposedly, per source, per Dynasty Dogs podcast, is coming back week one.
For Dynasty
And
Dog
then
source.
Mike Evans is hurt. Russell Gage is hurt. Julio Jones is the healthiest player right now. I'm not doubting Brady, but it's not looking great. Matt Stafford has the tendonitis in his elbow. So I'm going to take Trey Lance over all of those guys. I don't care. Trey Lance, QB. And I'm going to take Ayuk, who I just realized it's only two flex. I think that's the standard for like, a casual fantasy player, but I like three flexes. So in one of my leagues, he'd be still starting on this roster, but he'll technically be a bench player, I guess, on this roster. But yes, I'm going to go with both of them. And that means I'm fading tight end into oblivion in this draft. And with values that I like, I don't mind. I really don't.
Who's the tight end who you like here? For the
So
next.
if I was to go tight end, I do like Zach Ertz, especially we talked about 6 games without Hopkins. I don't think Marquise Brown is going to face a suspension for his arrest, right? I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so. No.
Okay, so either way though, I do like Zach Ertz. Dawson Knox is a touchdown machine on a great offense with like the best quarterback in the league. I love Dawson Knox. Pat Fryermuth, I don't like that offense, but I like him in Dynasty, not in Redraft. Mike Gesicki is not a bad value. Cole Kmet, he could even fall to my next turn. So that
Yeah.
would be my ideal tight end pick because it wouldn't feel like a fading tight end because like I could see him being better than Fryermuth and Gesicki this year, and like he'll be past them in ADP. So,
Yeah.
um, Con, I don't know. Could you add a few rounds to make the bench depth get picked as well as
It's
because
up
we're
to
just
14.
picking
If you want, just refresh your page.
refresh? Okay, sorry about that. All right, cool. So yes, I am gonna go Trey Lance, Brandon Ayuk here.
All right, I'm
Let's
on
make it
board.
rain. And the haters are gonna cry this year because Trey Lance, he's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it. I love it.
Yeah,
What are your
Brandon
thoughts
Ayuk
on Trey
was
Lance?
the only other guy I was thinking about over there at my Elijah Moore spot.
Okay.
Um,
His training camp. Okay, we haven't talked in a while. Real quick before you answer about Lance.
yeah, go ahead.
Brandon Ayuk has had an insane training camp. Like, and it's not good to overreact to certain clips and hype pieces, but when you see a guy like Ayuk going day in, day out, clips posted, nice catches, like he went from being in the doghouse last year, surprisingly, and screwing a lot of people, including myself, over. But this year it's different. This year he's clearly it's Trey Lance to Ayuk every day. And I'm really excited to see it translate to the field week 1. I can't wait. So yes, but what are your thoughts on Trey Lance? Because we know I'm high on him.
Yeah. When you look at Trey Lance, there's no like ingredient to the recipe that he's missing for a top like 5 quarterback season besides experience. But even then, he started a couple games last year. So, cannon of an arm, amazing athlete. He has a great run game, a great coach. Sometimes, sometimes he
Best
gets a
left
little,
tackle in the league.
yeah, best left tackle in the league. He has a first, second, and third option who could all be first options any given
Yes.
week. I mean, a plethora of running backs to take the pressure off of him. Elijah Mitchell, Tyrion Davis-Price, Deebo Samuel sometimes. Um, so when you're looking at this stuff, like, sure, Joe Burrow was great last year, but are you taking him 2.5 rounds before Trey Lance? Like,
Never.
what's the rationale for that? Their weapons are the same. Maybe you could even give a little bit of an edge to that department to Lance, and then Lance is a better runner. Kyler Murray,
Mhm.
I think they're just as good of a runner as Lance and Murray are pretty equal in that category, and
Yeah.
Lance's weapons are way better. Herbert,
Mhm.
he's a way better runner. Lance is a way better runner than he is. So, like, I mean, 7-12, you get a guy with top 5 upside. That's just the way to win your league. You win your league with upside. You don't win by being second or third place. You win by being in first place. So, you know, not to just sound like I'm piggybacking off of you, but I agree totally.
It's good to hear. I love the Trey Lance love.
Yeah. And it's not for no reason, guys. Like,
It's
I'm
not.
not just
It's really
agreeing
not.
or nothing. Like, I promise this is how I feel. If I thought Trey Lance sucked, I would tell Nick and I would give him the middle finger too. But
Yeah. We're gonna disagree, I'm sure, a little more. We've
yeah,
agreed a lot, but I mean, this is the dicey part where you have your guys, and like,
yeah.
so we might not like each other's guys, so we're gonna go back and forth, I'm sure.
After Nick took Ayuk, the board went Cordero Patterson, Devontae Smith, Tom Brady, Rashad Penny, and Tony Pollard. Um, One of the interesting guys, or a couple of them here, are the running backs, I think. So just
Hmm.
talking that really quick. Um, I don't like Cordero Patterson because I think as the season goes on, he'll lose work to one of the guys behind him, whether it's Tyler Allgeier, I believe.
Algier.
How do you say that?
I think it's Algier.
Algier. Okay. Well, I saw him playing the other night, and I thought he looked really good.
Hmm.
Rashad Penny obviously has Kenny Walker behind him waiting. Even though I
Yeah.
think Rashad Penny's fantastic, obviously you can't ignore a team putting that much draft capital into a new running back. And I
And you
think
can't ignore his injuries.
what happened?
You can't ignore his injury history.
Yeah, absolutely not. And Tony Pollard going at 8.6 when Ezekiel Elliott went at 3.3. I think that's a great value also. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Zeke out touches him, maybe 60-40, but I think
Hmm.
Pollard will get more receptions. And when you're talking about a 5-round difference, that's okay. You're going to draft somebody else in the third round who will probably outproduce Zeke. And then, if you're drafting Pollard as a fourth running back here, you're probably getting better production here than anybody else's fourth running back. So there's that. That's a pick that I really like. And now I'm up with this 8-7 pick. So the quarterbacks here are Dak, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, Tua, and I don't think it's really time for any of these guys yet. I'm practicing what I'm preaching with not picking a quarterback. And I'm going to build out the rest of my bench over here for my team. So the names here, they aren't great. So I'm going to be reaching for a guy who I really like here. Um, the names Dak, Zach Ertz, Hunter Renfrow, Dawson Knox, Devin Singletary, Chase Edmonds. All these guys are here. Tyler Lockett is here also. But I've been a Sky Moore fan for a long time. I'm not going to take him here. I'm just saying somebody who I really like. Christian Kirk, somebody who I really like. Kadarius Toney. But I think if I'm going to take somebody here, I'm going to guarantee myself that I get at least one of the top receivers for the New York Jets. And I'm going to take Garrett Wilson. I'm not his biggest fan, but
Why not?
because I think he's a little bit overrated coming out of the draft. I think Pickens is better than him, and now people are catching on to that.
Hmm. I
Um,
really like Garrett Wilson.
yeah, I mean it's fair. I get it. He's a very well-rounded wide receiver. So I'm gonna take him here, and it just he was projected to be at my next pick, but I don't love the names here,
I
and
agree. I don't think it's a
I'm not
good
treating
spot.
this as like I'm drafting against the computer. I'm trying to simulate an actual draft, so I'm gonna take my guy right here to be my first depth piece.
There we go. Nice pick.
Garrett Wilson is on my team.
Yeah, like the guys that are going even before him, like it's just disgusting.
All right.
Wow, quarterback run.
Yeah, big QB run. All right. So to catch up now over here, Devin Singletary went right after my pick. Then Dak Prescott, Zach Ertz, Chase Edmonds, Hunter Renfrow, James Cook, Dawson Knox, Tyler Lockett, and then two quarterbacks in the form of Aaron Rodgers and Matt Stafford. So that does put a little bit of pressure on me, I think, to take a quarterback here. And I think that's fine, honestly. It's the middle of round 9. I have my starting lineup filled out besides my quarterback. I have a bench piece added already. And
Hmm.
I have guys who I like here coming back around, hopefully, as a fourth running back who are not only handcuffs, but also present standalone value. I'm not going to say who they are because Nick is here. But,
Yes.
but, so yeah, I'm going to take somebody who I think is in line for a great season with all his weapons. He's not a running quarterback, but that's fine because you don't always have to be a running quarterback. And I'm gonna take Derek Carr. Added Devontae Adams. Darren Waller came back. Hunter Renfrow came back. And I think they're gonna build off of that momentum last year. All right. So Nick, you're
Nice.
up now. I'm gonna pause the draft for you. There you go.
So I was just curious. Obviously, just pick Carr over Kirk. I know we know Cousins has the new offense coming,
Mm-hmm.
much more pass happy offense. Probably gonna benefit him. But so you like Carr and his weapon over Kirk and like, Jefferson, Cook, Thielen.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I get that some people might think Kirk is a better option, and I completely understand that. Kirk for the large part of his career has been more consistent than Carr, but
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just feel like Carr put it all together last year, not only as a leader, but making a lot more plays. Um,
Hmm.
I think his rapport with Renfro is huge to keep him on the field moving the sticks. And if this was just adding some random 30-year-old wide receiver like a who's like that? Like DeAndre Hopkins. If you just drop DeAndre Hopkins onto the Raiders, I'd be like, well, what does that do for me? But
Hmm.
he's played with Devontae Adams in college. Darren Waller is not going anywhere. He's fantastic. He's an alien. We know how good he is,
Oh yeah.
and Carr was great last year, so I'm comfortable taking him here. I don't need unreal production from him, and I'd pair him with a flyer later on, just to see what goes and what sticks. So that's my process with the Carr pick right there.
Okay. No, I was just curious, but I like the pick. I would have went with one of those two. Probably would have leaned Kirk, but
Yeah,
both good options. So I
and
did get
just
it right.
for
Oh,
the
go ahead.
listeners, sorry to cut you off. For the viewers, um, my spot I don't think it was the best for drafting a quarterback because you don't wanna reach and you don't wanna wait too long. So I did settle with Carr, but if you're drafting at the turn, I love the spot where Nick picked Lance, and I would much rather take Lance at 7-12 than I would at Carr at 9-6. So just putting that out there.
Okay. Nice. So I was right last time. I said I think Komet could fall back to me, and he did. So my tight end's covered. I like that pick. I mean,
Mhm.
we don't know. All we know is Matt Nagy got the hell out of Chicago, and it's way too late, but it
Yeah.
couldn't have, it finally happened. He's gone. Justin Fields had that one game last year where Matt Nagy missed with like COVID, and he was like a different player than all the weeks when Nagy was there. So hopefully that translates a little bit. Hopefully Fields takes a little leap. I mean, he has no real weapons. Like he could easily. I think Komet is the most talented pass catcher in the offense at the moment. Oh, okay. There's Darnell Mooney. I'm sorry, I completely. I love Darnell Mooney. I forgot about him for a second. Komet's the number two target in the offense easily. I love it. I think he's a great value in the end of the ninth round. I don't think you go wrong with that. And then there's someone, Young Joker. You like Young Joker, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Darius Tony, and you're getting him in the 11th round. You're getting someone that, if healthy, can easily put up 1,000 yards this year. I don't think that's an exaggeration. Kenny Galladay looks washed. It's really sad. Wandale's a rookie. Shepard's hurt. Slayton sucks. We have Bellinger, who I like as a rookie tight end, or Ricky Seals Jones. So I mean, Tony has the clearest path for to be absolutely just given 120 plus targets and 1,000 yards. Like if he can just stay healthy, which I really hope he can this year.
yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be special.
Yeah, that's the only thing that could really come between him and a great season. Um, Last year, everybody, and I'm not gonna act like I'm not guilty here. I really wasn't a fan of the pick, but we saw what he could do. He put Trayvon Diggs in a blender. Not like that's hard or anything, but
It's so easy.
but he legitimately was very talented and he creates space really easily. Um, he's has to improve on his hand still, but that's fine. That can come with time. So I like it, and I think like we said, you're always shooting for upside. So
So in the
that's
11th
very
round, give me that upset.
well.
Yeah. Oh, let me read off. Okay, so after Tony, we had Alan Lazard, Mike G, Robert Woods. I kind of do like that value for sure in the 10th round. I don't know about you. And then
Yeah,
Stevenson went, and then Albert O. I know you are on the clock, but yeah, what do you think about Woods this year? I was looking at him till I saw
yeah.
Tony.
Apparently he's supposed to be online for a week one recovery, week
Oh
one
yeah.
comeback, which I thought was, that's fantastic. When you're 30 years
Hmm.
old and you can come back week one, um, when J.K. Dobbins is like a toss up for week one after a training camp injury, that's incredible. Good for him. I'm happy for him. He's a great player, and I don't see why there would be any hesitancy. He's a very safe floor. Maybe there's not a great ceiling there with Treylon Burks potentially surpassing him as the wide receiver one midway through the season, but at the worst, you're getting a solid wide receiver two in his offense, and probably a top, what would you say, like a 24 to top 30 guy?
Yeah, that's what if I'm drafting Robert Woods, I'm definitely top 30. I'm expecting, top 30. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think top 24 would be nice, but it all really depends on like the whole Traylon Burks thing. Right now he's getting the Jefferson Chase treatment of the camp hate. Everyone hates him.
yeah,
People are saying he's always lining up in the wrong spots. Like it's just ridiculous takes. And I mean, I still like I don't I haven't moved on Traylon Burks. I still like him, love him in Dynasty.
yeah. Yeah,
Redraft,
I'm not
I
moved by the camp reports.
no, please don't be. And like in redraft, I don't really know how I feel in general about most rookie receivers. Like I do like the spot he goes. Like where in this draft, like, went right before Drake London. That's and then I took Ayuk right after him. He went right after Gabe Davis. Okay, so like that's a solid spot to have him this year.
Mhm.
All right, so you are on the clock.
Yeah, and just, for reference, Kirk Cousins is still here. So, if I wanted to, I could have gotten someone like my next target probably would have been Kadarius Toney, but,
Hmm.
in a real draft, you don't know how things are gonna shake out. Um,
Yeah.
there is no team that hasn't taken a quarterback yet. I was the last one.
Hmm.
So, um, just to get into the board here, there's Russell Gage, Sky Moore, Michael Carter, James Robinson, Tyler Boyd, and some other names. Damian Pierce is here, another guy who I
Hmm.
like.
Ooh, he looked
What?
good.
Yeah, he
He
did
looked
look
good.
pretty good. Yeah. Um, maybe this will shock some people, but I'm gonna take Sky Moore here. I think there's a legitimate chance that he puts himself in the running back, excuse me. He's been lining up in the backfield, but he's not a running back.
Yes.
Um, I think there's a legitimate chance that he is the wide receiver one outside of Travis Kelce. I think on a talent basis, he's better than Juju Smith-Schuster. Um, and we said shoot for upside because that wins championships. And a potential wide receiver one in a Patrick Mahomes run offense in the what is this? The 10th round, right?
11.
Yeah, middle of the 10th round.
Oh wait,
My wide
yeah.
receiver 5. I mean, I can't pass that up, man. He's
Hmm.
just I think he's gonna score way too many points for me to not pass him for me to not take him right here. And I'm hoping that Damian Pierce is falling back to me,
Damn
and he
it.
makes it back to the turn. Let's go, man. That's how yes. Sky Moore definitely was not gonna be back there. Damian Pierce is here. That's gonna be my running back 4. Oh my god, let's go. I'm so happy. So, Kirk Cousins is still here, which is kinda crazy.
Yeah, that is.
Marquez Valdes-Scantling is here. What'd you say?
No, I said that is crazy that he's still
Yeah.
there.
Um, in between my pick and the pick that I had just made with Sky Moore went, I believe it was Tyler Boyd, Russell Gage, Michael Carter, James Robinson, Alexander Madison. So, a lot of handcuffs here, Isaiah Spiller, Christian Watson, rookies over here. Um,
Hmm.
but, I mean, there's handcuffs going here, and I'm getting a guy who has a legitimate chance to be his team's RB1. Maybe not initially, but I don't need that. I have Cook, I have Saquon, I have J.K. Dobbins. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna take Dameon Pierce here, and I'm gonna be pretty happy about that. If he wasn't, I was planning on going Rashad White, but, you know,
That's who
I,
I'm planning on going.
I'm definitely happy with the pick I just made.
I like Damian Pierce. Yeah, he does definitely have the chance to be the RB1 for the Texans. I mean, you're competing with Marlon Mack, Rex Burkhead. Like, he looked like he had some juice and he was good at Florida. Um, I think he really has a clear path to like getting touches. What he does with them, that's up to him and how he goes, but he's gonna have the path. And so I am gonna go with Rashad White as one of my picks here. He's just very talented. He's a good pass catcher, obviously behind Lenny. But the only worry I have with him his rookie year is with Bruce Arians. He's been known to be a very harsh critic. And if Rashad White, like remember what he used to do with Rojo? Like you fumble, you could have 100 yards and two tutties in the game. You fumble, you're done for weeks.
Yeah, he
Like
just yanked him out the game.
yes. So that is the only worry really, and, like, obviously Lenny, but if Lenny goes down, which I'm not taking him to bank on that, I think Rashad White will get standalone value, I think he will get targets, I think he will get some touches every game, so I do like him there, but someone I do like is Isaiah Spiller too. That's who I was hoping fell, that's why I was mad when he went, because Austin Eckler, it doesn't mean that I'm low on Austin Eckler if I like Isaiah Spiller because
Yep.
last year Austin Eckler 206 attempts, rushing attempts. That's great, right? Well, what's not great is 2020 116, 2019 132, 2018 106. This man essentially doubled his carry total. I don't think they plan on doing that this year. I
Mhm.
think they plan on going that maybe back to like 150. So it'll be between what he did and last year and like what he's been doing. So that's another, 50 carries. And like obviously they had Justin Jackson and who else did they have there last year?
It was Justin Jackson, Austin Eckler, and Larry Roundtree, I think it was.
Y- Yes. So I mean those two, I mean Justin Jackson's gone, Roundtree I think is still there, but I think that you're gonna see some goal line work for Spiller. I think you're gonna see some just carries, third down. I think he's gonna be a good value there as well. But yes, I'm gonna go with Shad White here, and then ooh, looking at receiver right now, and
Mhm.
George Pickens is there.
Oh, don't you do it, bro.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Yo,
I'm gonna
stay away,
double
man.
dip on the rookies.
No, 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 stay away.
Nah, he's him. NFL young boy.
Yeah, yeah, NFL young boy.
Yeah, I gotta add him here.
Yeah,
I
I love
mean,
Pickens, man, what a player.
what a player. He's very talented. I think he's probably the third most talented receiver. I think Jamo is the most talented. I really do.
Really? Wow, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I think that if he did not get injured and he was healthy, he's the first receiver off the board in dynasty drafts and
Wow.
rookie drafts. And I think he's even higher. I mean, he went high already in the NFL draft, but
By the way, I am
JMO is
draft
special.
for you so you can take your guys.
Oh, okay. Good looks. So yes, I'm gonna go George Pickens, who I know I was saying I don't love the Steelers offense, but if you're getting possibly the wide receiver, probably the wide receiver too this year in their offense at the
Yeah.
end of the 11th round, I don't have a problem with that value. And then I'm gonna go Rashad White just to get a fourth running back in there
Mhm.
and someone who has a lot of upside possibly this year.
Alright,
So
we
after
had
that, it was
a
Irv Smith.
interesting pick come off the board just now.
What happened?
I said there was a pretty interesting pick that
Oh,
just happened.
okay. So let's get to it. We got Irv Smith. Great. I like him. I
Yeah,
really hope he has a breakout here. Tyler Algier. I think that's how you say his name. He should have a clear path to good amount of work in Atlanta. And then we had Deshaun Watson, who is probably going to miss the whole season.
yep,
He he went okay. Kirk Cousins went, thankfully, but yeah, I mean he's probably going to miss the whole year. I wouldn't draft him. I
yeah.
mean, if it's dynasty, obviously it's a different story. You can roster him, you can trade him, whatever you want to do, but he's not going to touch the field. I don't think this year. I did not think. And
Yeah,
then okay,
absolutely not.
the thoughts.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? He was given a 6-game suspension. The NFL wanted more, so they overruled it, and we're waiting to hear what they say. So, I shouldn't say overruled, but they appealed it. So,
Yes,
um,
Roger
I
Goodell.
think I think the judge making her decision based off of precedent, um, leading to that initial 6-game suspension is what the NFL is going to try to fix right now for future rulings. She'll base that off of obviously what's happened in the past, but also the NFL giving Deshaun whatever it is, 12 games, a full year, a year and 4 games, whatever that suspension is. But there's just absolutely no way that you can take him right here. Even if he only misses 8 games. I mean, that's half your
Yeah,
season, and you're gonna hold on to him? wasting a bench spot for half a season. In redraft, the bench spots are too valuable for that. It can happen. Absolutely do not draft him. Justin Fields is here. You want a QB2, draft
Yeah.
Justin Fields. He's gonna play. That means that he's gonna score points, and Deshaun Watson is not going to.
Jameis
You
Winston,
didn't know.
Trevor Lawrence, Matt Ryan, Mac Jones,
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, who's literally been a top 12 QB every year except last year in Tennessee. I don't really see why you would take him there at all. Yeah,
It's just,
stupid.
obviously, this is a computer drafting here with us, but just don't take Deshaun Watson unless it's like the
If you're in the last round, you have an IR spot, and he doesn't get a whole year, you can take him.
yeah, and even that, you have to see if your league lets suspended players be IR eligible, so that's a big
I think they should, but
consideration.
well, that's the conversation for another time.
Yeah.
So then we had Michael Gallup and Daryl Henderson. So we can go a little quicker now. Like the players don't need as much, analysis. It could be like a little sentence or two, but yeah, we're nearing the end.
Alright, so 4 bench spots left. Um, just to run through this real quick. Um, okay. So, like I said, there's a lot of higher upside guys here for the quarterback position,
Mhm.
which is why we were talking about don't take early QB, don't take early QB, We said that repeatedly throughout this podcast. Um, this is one of the reasons why. Justin Fields is here, Trevor Lawrence is here. You could pick whichever one you want. I'm personally going to take Trevor Lawrence right here. I think he's in a little bit of a better state in terms of his offense. And I think he's still a little bit of a better quarterback today than Justin Fields is.
Yeah.
So he still provides me with that rushing upside. He's young. I don't feel like I need any of these names here for my bench spots. Jahan Dotson, Jameson Williams, Noah Fant, even though I love Noah Fant in dynasty leagues. I don't think any of these guys are necessities at all.
Mm-mm.
And so I'm going to take my upside QB shot on Trevor Lawrence. What do you think about that?
I like it. I like. I mean, T-Law. A lot of people seem, 1 year. Urban Meyer. Um, just it was abysmal. It was terrible. But I, I think he's ready for where he goes this year. I think he's got a lot of talent that people don't remember, and I think it was weird to me. Like as bad as the offensive situation was, it should be a little concerning that he had 12 touchdowns. And I think there was a stretch of games where he had, like, it was just bad. I mean, obviously, if you throw for 12 touchdowns, but he had 2 games that year, one during your fantasy season that he had multiple touchdown passes, and he
Yeah.
had a lot of weeks without one. Like, that's a little concerning. And I could see why someone will be off him, but when he has all the talent in the world, like, I mean, you look back at his college days, like, it doesn't just go away. Like, it's very odd what happened last year, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good
Um,
pick.
yeah, and well, I'm surprised that Kenny Galladay's still getting drafted. Hate him.
Me too. Yeah, I mean, last year I thought he could have a lot of upside coming over, but clearly he is washed. And
um,
we miss on a lot of takes. As much as we hit on, you miss. And if you don't talk about your
yeah, we
misses,
love Kenny G.
then you're not a realist.
Oh my god. All right. So with this next pick, we got 3 bench spots left. I have 4 running backs. I have 6 receivers, I believe. No, 5 receivers. I have my backup QB. I don't really like any of the tight ends here. Hayden Hurst, Austin Hooper, Robert Tunyon, David Njoku, Gerald Everett. I don't really like any of these guys. I feel like any of these guys right here is a pretty big reach.
Hmm.
Um, so I think what I would go with here, I think I would go with the upside of your boy. Nick loves this player. I think he might be able to know who I'm talking about just by me saying that. He's a running back. You want to take a guess?
Oh, are you talking about Gainwell?
Yeah, somebody Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do like him.
You know,
What do you like about him? What makes you pick him here over
well,
guys like Khalil Herbert? I mean, I could
I
see why I picked
okay,
him.
that's a good point because I love Khalil Herbert. I think he's a great player. I think
Outside of Khalil Herbert, it's ugly.
what happened?
The board outside of Herbert for running back is ugly, though. I
Yeah,
was not dissing Herbert by saying I see why you pick him. It's
yeah,
because
it's
outside of those two, it's very bare.
um, I just think that the Eagles staff is a little bit more open to not having a workhorse,
Mhm.
and in addition to that, I think the Eagles drafting Kenny Gainwell last year with their current coaching staff, you know, Sirianni came in that offseason, they moved, whoever it was, OC spot, DC spot, all that stuff. They moved them around, made their hires, and Kenny Gainwell was a part of their draft that offseason.
Yes.
There's a new staff coming in for Chicago, and even though I think Khalil Herbert is really good, he was not a part of their draft. Um, and I think Kenny Gainwell is a better pass catcher. So
Mhm.
that's just what it comes down to. I think additionally it'll be a better offense. I think he's a more valuable handcuff, and we're shooting for upside. So that's all it is. Practicing what I'm preaching, upside wins leagues, wins you money. So promise.
Yeah, I
I'm
really
lying
do like it.
when I talk on these podcasts.
But the thing is, with him last year is even people don't. I don't know if they forget or they don't know. They like he had 6 touchdowns and 50 targets as a rookie, where Miles Sanders was there. Like he was getting work and he was scoring touchdowns and he was in on important plays in the goal line. And he has, Miles Sanders is no world beater. Like he's gone this year after the season. You're gonna want to see a little more of what they have with Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah.
And it was very funny. I hate the Eagles so much. Khan does too, but like Nick Sirianni was wearing a Kenneth Gainwell T-shirt to a press
T-shirt.
conference with his picture and his name. I've never seen anything like that. And
Total
screw
fangirl.
Philly. Yes, exactly. He's a bitch. He's no Brian Dable would kill his ass in a scrap, but Sirianni at least trusts him. So like that, as long as the coach trusts the player and likes the player, you
Yeah.
got to pass. But screw the Eagles. Okay, so here after that was Devontae Parker, Jameis Winston, Raheem Mostert, Khalil Herbert, and Mark Ingram. So I'm looking at some names here. We got Jalen Tolbert, who is, I mean, Michael Gallup's not ready. He's gonna start. I like him as a dynasty stash. He's not a bad pick here either. I might wind up with him. Got Romeo Dobbs, um, 4th round pick for the Packers. I mean, there's nothing but hype coming out of camp.
About
Like
him.
Dobbs, they're saying is beating everyone except
Mhm.
for Jair Alexander, who no one's beat. Which I
No
mean, there you
surprise.
go,
He's like a top 5 DB.
top three. But yeah, Dobbs. I mean, I don't know. What do you think of him? I mean, he's got an opportunity, but then you look at it, and Rodgers has never really
Developed
peppered
their
his like rookies with
yeah.
targets.
It's tough. It's tough, because I liked Dobbs when the year was starting,
Mhm.
and he was hurt for the combine, I believe, so that brought him down a little bit, but I think he is a talented player. I believe he's about 6 foot 215, if I remember correctly. Just fact check me on that if you can. But, obviously he was a day 3 pick, although it was around 4. So,
He's
last year,
6'2", 100.
6'2", 200?
Mhm.
Yeah, so he has the size. I believe he ran a 4.55, and like I said, that was running hurt. So I think I buy his profile, and he was a producer in college. If you want me to be honest with you, I think he's a better flyer than Christian Watson is. Christian Watson can't run an out route right now. He's terrible as a route runner. So
Oh,
so I do like Romeo Dobbs, and his name is not Dubes or um,
Daubs.
Dubs or however you wanna say it. It's Romeo Dobbs. Pretend that it's Dobbs. Um, and, yeah, if you take him here, I really don't hate it. We're shooting for upside, so
We are shooting for upside, and I really do like CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, I really think he could be a top 5 receiver this year, and I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah.
CeeDee Lamb. Mari Cooper's finally gone. Michael Gallup, who I love as a number 2, is hurt, but he'll be back in October-ish, is like what we're assuming as of now. But Jalen Tolbert for those 4 weeks where there's no Michael Gallup to be the 2, he has a he's a starting wide receiver with Dak Prescott as quarterback. I don't think anyone on this board has the upside he has if he performs those 4 weeks to be the 3 when Gallup's back,
Mhm.
and he'll be with Dak all year. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take him at the 13, 12, and then I do need a second quarterback spot, and hide your mother because Zach Wilson is coming to the roster, and he's gonna bang
Oh,
all the
let's
moms he
go.
wants. He's gonna bang everyone. He's healthy. He didn't blow out his ACL like all these Twitter doctors said.
Yeah, fuck that.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
And now, I mean, I need a QB too. This is our last spot, the 14th round. So I'll pick up my second quarterback. Some people say you shouldn't have two quarterbacks in a one QB league, but if it's your last pick, I mean, if you want to go draft Jamal Williams because you watched an episode of Hard Knocks, knock your, like go do that. But I'm gonna go take myself a second quarterback.
yeah, yeah,
Injuries happen. You need a bye week cover. Like the waiver wire is gonna suck because people are gonna roster two QBs, and if you don't, good luck. Like if your quarterback gets injured, because trades also in redraft trades are much more rare.
yeah.
So
I'm waiting for you to make the Tolbert pick official. All right,
yep,
there you
I did.
I
And
don't like him. I don't like him over Dobbs. I
you
gotta be
know,
honest with that one.
but my thing is like Rogers just. I mean, I know he doesn't have many targets to deal with, but we just haven't really seen a rookie receiver work out in Green Bay as a rookie. And I don't know. Dak throws that. He always has a lot of. He throws a lot. Zeke's declining. You said Pollard will get work, which he will, but
Yeah,
Dak is still going to throw that ball a lot. And Michael Gallup, literally, I think the main reason I'm taking Tolbert there is due to Michael Gallup being out, like for the first few weeks of the season. It gives Tolbert an opportunity to really make a name for himself. And if he and Dak, and this is also for training camp, Michael Gallup's hurt. So he's getting all this time now. And if it can translate to the first few weeks of the season and he can be a reliable target and they can build some chemistry, I mean, I don't think he's just going to get out of there.
look, I get it, and you know, I think your point of view is fair, but where I'm not like where I'm not seeing things from the way that you are is if Michael Gallup comes back healthy, no matter what Jalen Tolbert did, he's not going to be the wide receiver too. And at that point, you're shooting for a flyer. Although I think Tolbert is good, he's much more of a dynasty pick to me than Romeo Dobbs is because, like I said, no matter what he does, unless he drops 150 yards a game, he's not going to be the wide receiver two over Gallup. And there's obviously doubts with Dobbs. Is Aaron Rodgers going to throw to a rookie receiver? Is Aaron Rodgers going to trust him? XYZ. But when you look at this roster, who's not a rookie receiver? Christian Watson's a rookie receiver. Dobbs is a rookie receiver. Alan Lazard is like a third-year guy who's 26 years old. I mean, there's not a lot of experience here, regardless of who he's throwing to. Robert Tonyan is a 28-year-old tight end who's in like year 4. Like all these guys don't really have experience. So I'm gonna buy the profile of a guy who, like we said, is 6'2", 200, and 22 years old, was a great performer in college. I mean, I think Oh, obviously he just got taken before my pick right here too. Before I make a
Yeah,
selection, I would have taken him. But I think Romeo Dobbs has a chance to like DJ Chark went over him a pick before. McCole Hardman went over him at 3 picks before.
yeah, that's just
This stuff
bad.
is legitimately dumb.
He would have been my pick if Tolbert wasn't there, but my thing
Yeah,
is, obviously, I did say also he would be the wide receiver 3, but why do you like him in Dynasty if you don't like him as because he's not gonna be the wide receiver 2 in Dallas anytime soon. You got CeeDee Lamb, who's gonna be paid, I'm assuming, or they'll pick up his
yeah,
first year op or his 5th year option or get franchise tagged, and then you have Gallup, who just got paid for, like, was it 4 years?
4 years. Because
So,
I
in
think
the next 4 years, he doesn't have a path to be the wide receiver 2, but he could be effective as a wide receiver 3 with the amount Dak throws it is what I'm saying.
okay, and that's fair.
Because
But I
Gallup
think over
was
these 4
the
years,
wide receiver 3 last year with Cooper there.
Gallup was the wide receiver 3, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think over these next 4 years, he can be better than Michael Gallup, but I don't see it happening now, especially because they were so comfortable letting Cooper walk because of how great Gallup was before the injury. Not only last year, but the year before.
Oh, no, I agree. I'm not saying he'll be better than Gallup. I'm just saying
Yeah.
a wide receiver 3 for the Dallas Cowboys can be a viable flex play in fantasy.
Okay. I have the last user pick of the draft here, and I'm going to take every opportunity here to be a homer because I hate fair fantasy football analysis, and
Mhm.
I am that guy who is a total asshole. So my pick here is going to be Wandell Robinson. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
Let's
Best wide
go.
receiver in the draft. Absolute monster of a man. He's about 6'4", 225. And you're upset that your team doesn't have him. So Wandale Robinson is the pick here. And like I said, absolute gigantic human being. Okay. Obviously that's all not true. But I'm sorry. Legitimate chance to be a starting slot receiver and an offense that's going to target the slot. He was drafted in the second round by a regime that just came in. They obviously love him. He has not run with the twos all off season. That has to be for a reason. It's because he's good at football. And even the analytics nerds who hate short receivers, who hated Rondell Moore, who hated XYZ, they love Wandell Robinson coming out. So, 14th pick, last roster spot. What else is there to do? Take a
Yep.
flyer. Take a flyer on
So
Wandell Robinson over Jamal Williams, over Damian Williams, over DJ Chark, over all these guys. Just
so my thing, right? Let's do
yeah,
this because I was having this argument. Um, Wando Robinson or Dobbs for Dynasty.
for Dynasty, I have to go Wandale. No bias. No
Me
bias.
too. Me too. No bias because it's just he has second round draft capital. He led the SEC in receiving last year. He's
Yeah.
going into like a very thin receiving room, which he has a lot of opportunity. And he also can line up at running back. He'll be in the backfield.
Yeah.
Dable and Kafka are going to design plays specifically for him. I like him this year and I love him long term.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. He's versatile. Um, we saw Isaiah McKenzie have like 4 touchdowns or something like that off of end arounds and like those little dump passes last year.
Yeah.
So, there's a role for him. And from a dynasty perspective right now, I'll talk. He's probably never going to be a superstar, probably never going to be wide receiver one, probably never going to be a top like 20 scorer. But in rookie drafts, he was largely a late second round pick. And if you're getting somebody who for 5 or 6 years can give you like weekly flex top 30 receiver upside,
Hmm.
that's pretty good, man. I don't think he missed the game in college, or at least not his last season.
Hmm.
Um, and so much of player analysis is told to us already by front offices and their actions. So, Wandale initially when he was the pick at our second round spot, I was a little underwhelmed, but all the reports are that he's a great teammate. He's playing well. And we're obviously very tapped into the Giants beat over here. We follow it every day.
Yep,
Um,
every day.
so yeah, that was our last pick of the draft, guys. Um,
Yes.
we will be posting the board for you guys on Twitter,
Hmm.
so you guys can go check that out. Nick, anything last that you want to bring up or what?
Um, yeah, so we are gonna have the draft board. Obviously, we'll put up a poll whose team you like better, mine or cons.
You
I
want to put
mean,
money on that?
oh, we could. We get a little side bet going.
We'll, we'll
No,
put we'll
but
put like we'll
we
put like
both
a
have
water
good
bottle from
rosters.
MetLife Stadium on at $10.
Yeah. What about a free medium soda?
Free medium soda.
No, but yeah, this was a good time. I'm glad we're
Oh,
back. We're on
don't forget
YouTube.
that. Okay, for the people who aren't Giants fans listening, that was what they gave season ticket holders, right? For the shit show last game of the season.
Oh yeah, and I was there actually with
Oh, you
Johnny and
got one?
David. We were there. Oh, I
Wow.
didn't get one. I wasn't a season ticket holder, but
Oh fuck. I don't know
we
why.
were getting. Oh, it was so bad. We got smashed in the parking lot. Came in at like halftime. Saw the freaking kneel. That was like just screaming, "Judge must go." That was a great time. Hopefully, MetLife's better this year, and
Yeah,
hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and we help you guys win some money this year.
freaking QB Neal. Jesus. All right, well, that does it for us for this episode, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in again. It was great to be back. Great to cover a little bit of a different topic than usual.
Yeah.
Um, and once again, we appreciate it, guys. Take care.